What is good, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the SoBack Sports podcast. And today we are having a special guest with us, and that is Swaggy. And we're just going to talk some football, per usual. But before we get into that, please hit that subscribe button, like the video, and let's get to it. Swaggy, welcome to the podcast. How have you been, man?
I'm good, man. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk some football, especially with the Super Bowl over. Like, I'm ready to get right into it, to next season. So,
Heck yeah. What were your thoughts on the Super Bowl to go over real quick?
so I'll be completely honest with you. I did not watch the Super Bowl,
Hmm.
and the reason for that is just because of my hatred for both teams. So, yeah, I'll be
That
honest. I didn't see it.
that is so fair. I mean, especially
Yeah,
like the outcome, like between the Eagles and the Chiefs at that point, it's kind of like it's just two fan bases that kind of like had success or have current success or previous success, and it just it's at the end of the day kind of like that. But yeah, I feel you with that. But honestly, if it were
You didn't
me,
miss
I
much,
think
man.
yeah, it
You didn't
was a
miss
yeah.
blowout
much.
nonetheless.
So
But
I
yeah.
heard.
Yeah, for real. But I just wanted to kind of like get into kind of our individual teams, and let's start with you first. You are, as you said, a Colts fan, so I just wanted to kind of get your like inputs on your expectations for not only the off season, but maybe even going into next season as well.
Yeah, so the Colts really disappointed me. I thought we had the easiest schedule last season. As you guys know, we did not win the division. We didn't make the playoffs. We went 8-9. So yeah, the offseason, I had high expectations. I figured we'd fire a GM, we'd fire our DC. I got one of those two right. I really don't expect much, man. It's sad to say because I love the Colts and I thought last season we'd crush it, but we haven't won the division, I think, since 2014. Like Anthony Richardson was arguably the worst quarterback in all of football last year. Like he was flat out terrible. He got called out by the veterans for not working hard enough. You guys know we got benched for Flacco for a stretch and then he came back and I just don't expect much, if I'm being honest. Like usually I'm optimistic about my team, but I don't see a reason to, man. It's bad right now. It's the worst it's been since I've been a fan, probably. So
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, you touched on the Anthony Richardson, right? Like he was like supposed to be like the franchise quarterback. You guys drafted him on number 4 overall in 2023. Yeah, 2023.
yeah, 2023.
So you did say that he did have a bad season. Like, do you have any like expectations for him, like for next season? Or do you think the Colts, like, the offseason is coming up? Do you think the Colts should attack in free agency, maybe get a Sam Darnold, even like a Justin Fields, or maybe go draft a quarterback? Like, what do you think the Colts should do when it comes to the quarterback situation in Indianapolis?
yeah, it's actually a great question. So the past couple of days I've been thinking about it, and I want Aaron Rodgers.
Hmm.
I know a lot of Colts fans won't agree with me, but AR needs to be
Mhm.
pushed. He needs to be challenged. He needs someone to come in and that's played football. Like Sam Darnold, I think he's good, but I'm not hitting Sam Darnold like a bag because once he leaves the Vikings, I think he's gonna like go way downhill, obviously. So I think Rodgers is the answer, man. He's a veteran. I think the Colts have a roster that's good enough not to win a Super Bowl, but to make the playoffs to compete. And I think Rodgers is
Mhm.
perfect, man. That's just my opinion again, but
I'm kind of interested because that's like kind of the first time I ever thought about Rodgers potentially being Indianapolis Colt. It's usually like fulfilling the prophecy of going to the Vikings, like the Brett Favre did. But I don't know because it's like the thing about Aaron Rodgers going to the Indianapolis Colts. Yes, it's a very big wild card in a sense because not only of his age but also his history, especially these last 2 years with when it comes to you know when it's when having the young guy with him and being able to develop him as or like be a mentor to him really because on the Jets last year or the year prior when he tore his ACL and then Zach Wilson took over, there wasn't really any mentoring going on per se. I mean, I know that it was very unexpected that Zach Wilson was thrown to the fire again, but when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, do you really think that like he would at his age be willing to like mentor a young quarterback in Anthony Richardson who, I mean, he does have the talent. You saw like those passes at times, like those are very sporadic moments, but for the most part, I think the mechanics, the footwork, and certain parts of the processing process of like the field is still not there. Do you think that could be like? Do you think Rodgers can help with that?
Yeah, I definitely think he can. I mean, look at Jordan Love and how he turned out. He sat behind him for a couple of seasons and came in ready to go. But the biggest thing with Zach Wilson, just to backtrack on your point, is he didn't have a QB like Aaron Rodgers, certainly, but he also his coaching staff was young. They hadn't been there. They were first time coaches. So I think Zach Wilson was set up to fail. I also think Anthony Richardson was set up to fail. He was not ready to play coming out of college at Florida. So I think Aaron Rodgers would come in and the Colts would tell him, hey, look, obviously Anthony is the future of our team, but we need to win. Like, again, the Colts haven't won the division since I believe 2014 was the last time. So that means that the GM, Chris Ballard, right now, they haven't won the division once since he's taken over. So Aaron Rodgers, he comes in, he'd probably be the quarterback for one season, but it's just, I want to see what the roster's capable of. And I know Aaron, he's a great guy. He will mentor Anthony and he'll set him up for the following when he retires. So
that's fair.
So yeah, so the coach, so like the coach of the Indianapolis Colts, like is Shane Steichen, right? And you know Shane Steichen, like 2022, he really was a big part of who Jalen Hurts became as a quarterback because he was OC when the Eagles first went to the Super Bowl, right? What's your overall assessment on like Shane Steichen as a head coach? And do you think that like with Shane Steichen, he can do the same thing with what he did with at least like Jalen Hurts? Because like I think they're like kind of similar quarterbacks, right? The dual threat quarterbacks. They can both run the ball really well, also throw it. So do you think he can develop into like a Jalen Hurts type of player, or do you think Shane Steichen's not that kind of like not that coach for y'all? Like, what's your overall assessment on Shane Steichen?
So we'll start off with Shane Steichen. I love Shane Steichen. I thought he honestly should not have been fired. I don't think last season was his fault. I do think part of it was. But in terms of him, like the thing with Anthony Richardson is when he came out of college, he was extremely raw. Like he was more raw than Josh Allen. Jalen Hurts was an amazing quarterback. He was way more polished, established than AR as a passer. And I think that's why Steichen was able to mesh Hurts and turn him to what he is. But AR, man, he's got a lot of work to do. His accuracy. I think he can read defenses fine. Like I think he's intelligent. Like, I think he's smart. But I think his work ethic, honestly, was the biggest thing. Because Jalen Hurts, is, as you guys know, I mean, he's in the gym 24/7, always working on his body, his game. And I don't think that's the case for AR. So I think this offseason, Steichen and him need to get together and come up with a plan and just get the playbook down to where it can sort of mesh well with his skill set. Because AR, his passing is just, it's probably the worst in the league of all starting quarterbacks. So that's why he hired, I don't know if you guys heard this, but AR actually hired Josh Allen's former mechanics trainer. So, and Josh specifically credited him to his leap, his MVP type of leap. So now AR is working with him. So I guess I'm hopeful, but in terms of Steichen, I think he's a great head coach. Well, I'll say this. I think he's a great offensive coordinator. I can't say he's a great head coach, obviously, yeah, because we haven't won anything. But just looking at his first season, guys, with Gardner Minshew, we were 15 yards away from winning the division. So, like, I think he's the answer. It's come down to AR at the end of the day. So,
yeah, and especially like with the season that he's had, especially I kind of wanted to get your take on Anthony Richardson. Yeah, you like you said, he was a raw talent. Needs to be really developed and developed pretty much. But the moment when he like took himself out the game, the excuse that he had at the end, like I know it's not a big deal necessarily from like a grand scheme of things, but I just wanted to see what your opinion was, because a lot of people right now, at least from what I've been hearing about from the Colts side, is saying like, do you think that he is fit to be the starting QB because of like him taking himself out of the game? I just wanted to see what your thoughts are on that.
I think AR tapping out was, I don't know how to phrase this, but honestly, I'll say this. I think that moment was a wake-up call to him. I think he took it for granted how difficult it is to be not only a franchise quarterback, but just a starting quarterback. And I think after that happened, the backlash that the team got and he was benched, he came back and he started to work harder. That's why he got the starting job back, because he showed up earlier, he left later. But that was a big deal. And the reason it was a big deal is because it showed the Colts as a losing organization. Your starting quarterback tapping out after a play, that's inexcusable. And once again, I don't know if you guys know this as well, because I don't know how much you follow the Colts, but the season where we drafted AR, we had guys showing up late to meetings, to practices. It was dysfunctional. And you put 2 and 2 together, it just makes us look bad. And yeah, as a fan of the Colts, it was honestly embarrassing. I know it's not like in the grand scheme of things, like he was tired, but I think he was mentally tired from just how bad he was playing. And he knew he was playing bad. He got called out, obviously, but DeForest Buckner specifically called him out and said, hey, look, I signed an extension because of you. Like, this is not the standard that we need to be setting. So I do think it was a big deal, but I think it actually helped them. So
Yeah,
So
I had no idea about that. Yeah.
yeah, so I think I heard about that on ESPN. Someone was talking about that like back when that happened. Um, but anyways, I think like I just want to go back to like Shane Steichen and like what you said about Aaron Rodgers coming and how like the Colts need to like win games. I think I actually agree with you on that because I think for Shane Steichen's sake, for him to like, I think he's on the hot seat now because I mean your first year you did go like 9-8 with I think Gardner Minshew, right? And you said you're right. They were like 15 yards away from potentially being the Texans and going on to win the AFC South. But I think my question to you is about Shane Steichen is like, does he really need like a winning season this like next season? Like, how crucial is his next season for Shane Steichen to keep his job? Because you did mention that the Colts have now won the division in like I think you said 15 years or like 11 years. I think
yeah, 2014 with Andrew Luck,
yeah,
which was the last time.
It's like 12 years or something or 11. So like how important is it to get a winning season finally for even Shane Steichen and to get some wins under his belt as a head coach? Because this will be year 3 of him being a head coach for the Indianapolis Colts. And then, that's basically my question. Yeah. So like,
I'll say this right now. If the Colts do not make the playoffs next season, Shane Steichen will be fired. Anthony Richardson will be traded. I can pretty much guarantee it because this is the thing. The Colts gambled. They kept their GM. They kept their coach. They said, hey, look, AR's our guy. If these guys don't put in the work in the offseason and turn it around, things are going to get ugly quick. I mean, the Colts, like, hot seat is an understatement, man. I mean, it's going to be franchise altering. I think you can make the argument that they should have honestly done something drastic in this offseason. I mean, they went 8-9. They lost to the New York Giants with playoff implications on the line. I know that like the Broncos beat the Chiefs, so they still wouldn't have made it. But yeah, absolutely. I think Steichen's gone if they have another season like this because it's just not who the Colts are. I know what they had Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, but this is a winning organization. Like they're supposed to be winning Super Bowls and they're not even making the playoffs. So
yeah, I mean, you said it kind of has the same sentiment of what the Chicago Bears really are as a franchise as well, especially with the direction that we were going in the past. We've been trying to rectify that, and I think you've been covering the Bears as well, so you're kind of pretty much aware of what the Chicago Bears are doing. But I think that's a good transition into kind of about the Chicago Bears now, because like you said, we rest our hopes on the franchise quarterback, really, and his development is definitely going to be crucial, whether it's Anthony Richardson or it's Caleb Williams, where the Chicago Bears on this end have an offseason that currently started off with, the hiring of Ben Johnson and bringing in his staff. So far, I'm not sure how in depth you've been keeping up with the Chicago Bears, but as of right now, what are your thoughts on the Chicago Bears and how they have been doing so far in this offseason?
So I'll be honest, I haven't followed the Bears much in the offseason, but I do know a lot about Ben Johnson from covering the Lions. I think you guys literally had the perfect hire. I think Ben is an elite play caller. In terms of him as a head coach, we'll wait and see. But Caleb and Ben Johnson, that's the perfect fit right there. I mean, look at Jared Goff. I mean, he was a guy who the Rams kind of gave up on, sent him to Detroit, and he turned into one of the best quarterbacks. So I'm happy about that. But just looking at Caleb specifically, I think this team will go as far as he does, because I thought he was set up not necessarily for failure, because I thought the Bears had talent, but the offensive line, that's going to be the thing. And also, I will say the speed of the game seemed a little bit too quick for Caleb. So I'm hoping that Ben can come in and try to help him with that and just know where to go with the ball, because just the short passes, like Caleb has to hit the easy ones. He's kind of like AR in a sense too. So
No, that's fair. That's completely fair. And that's just the thing about the off season, and I guess every off season at this point, where it's like, can we just develop an offensive line? Like that's all we've been really asking for. And the Chicago Bears have a guy now that prioritizes, at least hopefully, the offensive line. And I think the game will probably slow down a little bit more if Caleb has more time without pressure in his face. And like you said, I agree. Ben Johnson was definitely the right hire in a sense for Caleb, because you're trying to get the best person or best coach available in the market. And what really kind of makes this a much like a bigger hire than it has to be is that it's the McCaskies, the George McCaskey specifically, that made this call and allowed Ryan Poles to pursue Ben Johnson. And that's something that Bears fans were worried about, especially specifically because we're not a team that spends a lot of money when it comes to our head coaches. If you look at our head coaches in the past, Eberflus was very lowballed and was a coach that was easily manipulated and was essentially a yes man. Same with Matt Nagy at one point. He won Coach of the Year. As soon after, it was just downhill after. And then John Fox and Mark Trestman, a lineage of coaches that were just cheap and not necessarily right for the quarterback or developing a quarterback, especially for a team that has not had a 4,000-yard passing quarterback. So that kind of like leads me to my next point in your expectations next year with the potential moves that we could make. Say we do invest in an offensive line. How many games do you think the Chicago Bears could potentially win?
it's a really good question. So here's the thing. I have high expectations for the Bears, but we have to be a little bit realistic in the sense of who's in their division.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota, more than likely all winning 10 plus games, right?
Right.
At the same time, though, Caleb Williams was drafted number 1 for a reason. I think he's got a lot of talent. If this does work, which I think it will, I really like Ben Johnson. I think he's one of the best play callers in football. The weapons are there. DJ Moore, Romo Dunze, Cole Kmet. The offensive line is going to be the thing. If that can sort of get just picked up in free agency in the draft, we could be looking at a 10-win season, legitimately. I don't think the Bears are that far off. They finished 5-12, which certainly was lower than we expected, but they have the right guy, man. I mean, I thought personally they should have fired Eberflus coming into the season. They waited way too long. As a Colts fan, though, I think Eberflus is a great defensive mind, but head coach, no, right? Like, I think he's a great DC, but yeah, so that's another thing as well, is the Bears should have had that figured out before they went into the season with Caleb, and now they have it right. I mean, Ben's great, so.
Yeah. Well, I guess in that case, I just wanted to do for our last question for, before we go into the tier list, what's like 2 teams like in your mind outside of the Colts and the Chicago Bears that you think that are, kind of like dark horses or underdogs of who that can be really good next season?
The first one that comes to mind immediately is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's just something about them to where if Chris Godwin didn't get injured, I mean, who knows what happens to their season, but they just have an electric offense. They've got a great defensive mind in Todd Bowles. I think they're a team that next season could, I'm not going to say surprise people because we know the Bucs and they're good. They won the division 4 or 5 years in a row. But I think next season, if they just have a really good offseason, they can win the Super Bowl. So, and another team will go with an AFC one. Who's an AFC team, man, that could surprise people? I'm going to go with, I don't know. I'd have to think about it, man. You guys have one or?
I mean, Anka, do you have one?
For me, I think like you said, like a surprise one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me,
Jets. No, I think the Jets.
Jets. The Jets.
I think Aaron Glenn.
That's interesting.
I think Aaron Glenn, like he can like bring some like new like culture change to like that organization. I actually like really like that hire, like Aaron Glenn. I think he was like the second best option out of all of them. So I think Aaron Glenn. They got to still figure out who they're going to take as their quarterback. They can get one from free agency. They can draft one, but I think the Jets. I mean, I don't know if they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't know about that, but I think they can maybe like push to go to playoffs. Like we've seen, like first year head coaches like take a team to the playoffs. So like I think the Jets could be really really good. I'm not putting like insane expectations though for them. So like I don't know about Super Bowl, but I think they can go to the playoffs if they like. Because I feel like the thing with the Jets is like they have a decent offensive line, and I just think that like last year their defense kind of fell apart, and I just feel like that Robert Sala. I don't know why they got rid of Robert Sala. Like at least like at that point, because I mean let's be honest, like ever since they got rid of Robert Sala, the defense got a lot worse. And I know that the Jets are also going to get rid of DJ Reed, so they do got to get another corner. And I do expect Sauce Gardner to like bounce back next year because he did have a down year. So that's what like I'm expecting the Jets to at least get like maybe 9 or 10 wins next season. So I think they're like a sleeper team next year.
I think one of the bigger sleeper teams is definitely the Carolina Panthers, and I think now that
That's a good
there are
one.
2 seasons of you know, losing all their picks pretty much are over, they will have a chance to further develop this offensive line, get some more pieces for Bryce Young, specifically wide receiver. And you know, we saw after the benching happened how improved or how clear-minded Bryce Young was as a quarterback. He was very pedestrian in like the first 3 games of the season, and then all of a sudden a switch flipped, and he was able to dice up defenses, look more poised and calm in the pocket. And I think that has a lot to do with Dave Canales and his work with Bryce Young, you know, giving him that reset, that factory reset. And I think he's going to be really good. Now that he's got his confidence back, he's going to be he's going to be a really solid quarterback to look at when it comes to the NFC. So
I
guess-
have a little hot take though. I think next season I was talking to my friends about this. I think that after next season, Bryce Young will be better than CJ Stroud. I actually think that.
Interesting.
I think that he'll be better. I think he'll be better because like I feel like okay, CJ's good. Don't get me wrong, but like I think that Bryce Young, like the reason why people like didn't have him in that conversation is because like if the roles were reversed, like I genuinely think that Bryce would have been better than CJ. If CJ went to like Carolina, like we would not be thinking like CJ like that because the situation that Bryce Young went to in Carolina, which is so goddamn awful, that like his offensive line was horrible. So like I think next season, like I think the Panthers definitely need to get another wide receiver because Adam Thielen is just not it. I mean, I think Leggett could be good, but they need to get a wide receiver, either free agency or draft another one. And then they need to invest in the offensive line and maybe get like someone in the defensive line too. And I also believe in Dave Canales. Like he's a really, really good head coach because we forget that Baker Mayfield, his resurgence, it started off with Dave Canales. So I actually agree with you. Panthers could be a really good team next year. They could maybe win the South. But I mean, obviously Tampa Bay is probably better. But if they make the right moves, they can definitely contend for the South for sure.
I have an interesting that kind of just reminded me of a question that I kind of wanted to put to everyone. So like you mentioned, Dave Canales, Liam Cohen, who is their the most recent offensive coordinator for Baker Mayfield, is now going to be the head coach for another team in the Jacksonville Jaguars. What do you think? Like, I think that the conversation of Liam Cohen has been kind of like very polarized. Like, he's going to be either really good or really bad. There's no in between. But I just wanted your guys' opinion. Like, do you think that Liam Cohen will have immediate success, or will it take some time, or will he not have success at all?
That's a really good question. I'll say somewhere in the middle. I don't think he's going to come in, win 10 games, but I also don't think the Jags are going to be picking towards the top of the draft. I think Jacksonville is very interesting because they've got Trevor Lawrence, and we know what he's capable of. We know his potential. I think they've got some good weapons. They've got really good defensive players. The Jags are just an interesting team. They're a wild card. We could have put them into a sleeper team, honestly. Like, they could win the South. I don't think it would surprise – like, maybe it would surprise a lot of people, but they were right in there. You know, like up until this past season. But I think Liam Cohen is going to do a good job. I mean, looking at what he did for the Bucks, I mean, look at Baker. First of all, a lot of people said with Canales leaving, he was going to fall off. I mean, Baker played at an MVP level. Bucky Irvin came in. I mean, who was talking about Bucky Irvin coming into the season? And then this dude ended up being one of the best rookies in football. So, I mean, I hope he fails as a Colts fan, but I don't think he will, to be honest.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, I forgot about that. It's in division.
I think Liam Cohen would be good. Like, I actually I think I'm not saying Doug Peterson was a bad head coach. I don't think so. I think it was also it was on Trevor Lawrence. So he did make some really bad plays. He did have a down year. And I think the defense also fell apart. And the Jacksonville Jaguars do have a lot of holes that they need to fix. Obviously, they have the draft. I think they need to get a defensive lineman for sure. But I think Cohen could be really good for Trevor Lawrence, right? I think because people forget this season also Baker Mayfield 2 years in a row has had really good offensive coordinators, and I think I expect Trevor Lawrence, because I personally think that Trevor Lawrence as a talent is more talented than Baker Mayfield, in my opinion. I think he's a more talented quarterback than Baker, because I mean, when Trevor Lawrence came to the league, he was a generational prospect, right? So I think if he can do that with Baker, I think he can definitely translate that to Trevor Lawrence. And I just think that it's really good to have a good offensive mind with a player like Trevor Lawrence. And we've seen Trevor Lawrence have his highs, right? In the postseason, coming back from 27-0, we've seen that happen. And I just think that with this new offense, with also Brian Thomas Jr. as the wide receiver one, which he played really well last season, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars could be a sleeper team, in my opinion. And I think Liam Cohen has a lot of aura after doing the Duval chant. I think he has a lot of aura after that. So.
Oh hell no!
he might surprise people with that.
That's my thing, because it's I feel like a lot of head coaches based on their press conferences and stuff. And listen, I'm very very hit or miss when it comes to evaluation of that, because just because you have a good press conference doesn't mean that you're going to be a good head coach, or just because you have a bad press conference doesn't mean you're going to be a bad coach. So immediately people saw that and then were like, nah, this guy's gonna flop. I don't think so. I think he's gonna be fine. It's just that this dude is just a goofy guy. Dan Campbell's press conference wasn't that good, huh?
I mean, I don't really take that into account, because I feel like that's just his personality. And
right.
We do see some coaches here and there, even in the NBA, we see some coaches that are more upbeat, right? It's I don't really care if he did that Duval chant. I care about what he does on the field, obviously. So I think I just said that as a joke, but I mean, I think again, Baker Mayfield had his best season last year. He did,
right.
As a pro, he had his best season last year under Liam Cohen, right? And I think we all can agree that Trevor Lawrence is a more talented quarterback than him. He was one of the most generational prospects we've ever seen, right? I think he was more generational. No, but he was more generational than Joe Burrow. Coming into the draft, he was one of the most generational prospects in the league. And I think that what Liam Cohen did for Baker Mayfield, he can easily do that with Trevor Lawrence, because I think he's way more talented. And the playbook, the sky's the limit for the Jags, I feel because they have decent weapons, right? And I think they got a good running back in Tank Bigsby now. I mean, obviously they got to get maybe another running back, because I think Etienne's kind of washed, but they definitely need, again, they definitely need more weapons, obviously. But I think Cohen can bring a really creative offense for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I think that's something they really need.
To be honest, I don't even think they need more weapons. They've got Evan Ingram, Brian Thomas Jr., Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, Parker Washington was actually pretty solid this year, and Josh Reynolds, Devin Duvernay. I don't even think it's the weapons. If anything, it's just Trevor Lawrence, like you said. I think he has more talent. Some of the throws Trevor Lawrence makes just are unbelievable, but the thing is can he reach that potential, right? Because Lawrence, we've seen him play at an MVP level, and then we've seen him not, right? So I think that's the same thing. It's just like your guys Bears, Caleb Williams. Can he reach his ceiling? Can Trevor Lawrence reach his ceiling? If you don't have an elite quarterback, you don't even bother, right? You have no chance in the NFL. So
No, yeah,
I
100%.
mean, the difference between like Trevor and Caleb is like Trevor's already in, like year 4 now, but like I see what you mean. Like, can he like reach his like
Yeah.
potential? Yeah, we got to see that. I mean, because again, Trevor also like real quick, like Trevor Lawrence is, in my opinion, like the year before in 2023, after what he did in the playoffs, I actually thought that the Jags, like I thought that they would be like a real they would be fighting for the 1 seed, which they were right before Trevor Lawrence got injured, and I actually like thought that Lawrence going into the season might win MVP that year. So like I had a lot of expectations for him, and he's been kind of disappointing. He's had like I think he had similar stats, like his career stats are like similar to Gardner Minshew, which is kind of crazy. Like
No, wait, it was to
so
Daniel
hopefully
Jones, I think. It was
They were
like,
worse
and Minshew.
actually than
yeah, oh,
they,
and Minshew?
they were worse than Minshew. Minshew had better
Wow.
numbers statistically.
Dang.
Damn.
Yeah, like, I mean, it doesn't help because Doug Peterson's schemes offensively and whatnot, it was just, it was just like after one season, I feel like there's like a lot of coaches that are just like that interim, like, get spark a jolt in the team and then they have to go and have to go. But I think Doug Peterson
Well,
overstayed his welcome a little bit too long on the team.
I disagree with
And
you on that. I disagree. No. I disagree with you on that because like didn't he win a Super Bowl with the Eagles?
no. I'm
Like
I'm
Doug.
saying like even during his time in the Eagles, he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Like I
that's true.
agree. But after that Super
Yeah.
Bowl, what they didn't really do much after. Like they were
That's true.
very middle of the pack or even missing the playoffs type of team. And that's the thing about Doug Peterson. Once his like schemes are out there, it's either they'll get figured out the next season or he's gonna get fired. Like that's pretty much
Well,
the thing.
my only pushback to that real quick is that let's be honest though. So like they won the Super Bowl in 2017, right, against the Patriots. But like, and then after that injury with Carson Wentz, like Carson Wentz was never the same. Like he was literally never the same. And then after that, like they traded Carson Wentz. Like he played really bad for them, right? And Doug got fired after that. And then he went to the Jacksonville Jaguars, hoping, okay, I'm getting paired up with Trevor Lawrence. The first year they beat the Chargers because they chargered and they choked. And then they play the Chiefs. They get smacked by 10 points. And then the second season is like Doug. Like I wouldn't say Doug Peterson was bad because they were 8-3 when Trevor Lawrence was healthy. And then it all fell apart when they had I don't even know who their quarterback was. Like some backup.
Oh,
Like
CJ
some backup was. Yeah, CJ Beathard, like the former number 3 overall pick. He was their quarterback, and I just don't expect like Doug to win games with CJ Beathard as his quarterback. So then that season was gone when Trevor Lawrence got hurt. And then last season, it's like Trevor Lawrence didn't even play that good. Like I can't say like it's Doug's fault like all the time. Like I think Doug is a hell of a coach in the league. I mean, I think most of it was on Trevor Lawrence last season. And I don't even know who do you guys know the coordinator for the Jags? I don't even know who that is, but like I think his play calling was kind of bad. But I just can't say that Doug's a bad coach because he has won a Super Bowl. Like, and he's never had elite quarterback play. That's my thing with Doug. He's never had that. He had a stint where Carson Wentz was like the MVP of the league, and then Wentz got injured, and then same thing happened with Trevor Lawrence too. So like, I can't say after like the bad quarterback play he's had. It's like Mike Tomlin after Ben Roethlisberger, like except Tomlin goes to playoffs every year. But like you know what I'm saying, right? Like quarterback play matters a lot, and I just think that Peterson just got fired because of the record. I don't think he got fired because he was a bad coach, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I can see what you mean, but I think, it does play a factor at times. But I guess we kind of reached the point now where we can start doing the tier list. So let's get to that. Let me make this a little bit bigger so that.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, it's an interesting one.
Okay.
That's like the jersey.
So as of right now, we can change any of these tiers if you really want to. But as of right now, we have QB1, top 5, top 10, decent, mid, bad, retire, and then backup. We could probably combine these two if that's the case. If it need be the bad and mid, retire tier, because it's essentially the same thing in a sense, right? So are we all okay with this list?
Well, I have a question. Like bad is like bad as a starter, or is like bad as a quarterback in general?
Bad as a quarterback. Like,
Okay,
he's
so
a
they
bad
can't even like
quarterback.
they can't even back up. They can't be a backup or like because I
Well,
feel like bad
backups
and
right
backup
here.
are kind of
Backups right here.
no.
I guess
No, you know what I mean? Like bad as a starter or bad as like a
we can move
quarterback in
back
the
up
NFL.
here. Like, oh yeah, no,
Okay.
bad as a starter. Or wait,
Okay.
or is it like
So then wouldn't you be a
third?
backup?
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Backup's
think so.
worse. Backup's
Yeah.
worse than bad.
Oh, worse than bad. Okay, I
Yeah,
guess that's fair.
Okay.
absolutely.
True.
Okay.
And then retire is like
All right,
at the
sounds good.
bottom.
Aaron
Okay.
Rodgers.
That's so true. Listen, I have a disdain. My brother and I have a disdain for Aaron Rodgers, so love to see that man retire. But all right, I guess we can start with QB1. What are your thoughts for this
Pat.
upcoming season? Pat Mahomes still?
Am I wrong to disagree with Patrick Mahomes being the best quarterback right now?
I think you're not wrong in a sense. What were your thoughts?
I want to hear his reasoning. I want to hear.
Okay,
I
so
wanna
if
hear
we're going
reasoning.
off of success, like there's no argument debate. It's Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah.
but like right now, if I'm taking a quarterback, it's Lamar Jackson. Like I think he's the best because of what he does. Like first of all, passing wise, he was without question the best last season.
Really?
But then rushing, yeah, I think Lamar is the best quarterback in football. I know he hasn't won anything, but like statistically speaking, I mean, he's been the best for a couple of years now. So
Here's my
Fair.
pushback. Here's my pushback on that. Okay, I think Lamar had an amazing regular season. I mean, if it wasn't for him winning it last year, he should have won it this year. You know, I feel like last year he shouldn't have won it, but they couldn't give it to him this year. My pushback is the greatest like attribute for a quarterback is winning. And what I mean by winning is like I'm not saying Lamar is a loser. Like he's gone to the playoffs. He's not like a complete loser. It's just that when it comes to the playoffs, his success, like he has the worst games in the playoffs. Like even like this year, he had a crazy season. He had 2 crucial turnovers in the first half that really changed the game and gave the momentum for the Bills. That's why I can't put him number 1. Now, if Lamar goes next season and wins the Super Bowl or like even goes to the Super Bowl, because that's what we like want to see from Lamar is can he play his best football when it matters the most and when the team needs him the most and like in the biggest stages. And that's why, like, I personally have a lot of respect for Jalen Hurts now because 2 out of the 4 seasons as a starter, like, Hurts doesn't have the crazy stats, but when it comes to the playoffs, he plays a lot better. But if I go with QB1, I gotta go with Mahomes, man. Like,
Okay.
he was a
hold on.
repeat.
I have a counter. I have a counter to that.
Oh,
so
okay.
who was the best player on the field in the Bills against the Ravens playoff game?
Okay, me personally, I'm going with Josh. The reason why I'm going with Josh, no. Because okay, here's my thing with Josh. Right, the reason why I put Josh is because look at his team. He literally had 1 other All Pro on his team, and I think that was his left tackle. Like Lamar had 8 All Pros on his team, and he went into the field with the better team. It was crazy, like how much better the Ravens were because it's a home playoff game, and they were -4.5 favorites. Like that doesn't happen normally unless you're like a 4 seed versus a 5 seed, and like the 4th seed is like a 9-8 team, and like I remember like the Bucks versus the Cowboys 2 years ago, like that happened where the Cowboys were favored by -8.5. But me personally, I had Josh, but I can see the Lamar argument. I can see it because he had a crazy season.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I guess that's fair. I mean, at least okay. Let's set the parameters, I guess, because I think we're going off of talent or wins at this point. I think for the sole purpose of this tier list, I think we should do it based off of talent and what they've accomplished this year, because I think
talent.
Then I would say that too because he
I'm
won
fine
MVP.
with that.
Yeah,
I'm completely fine with Josh Allen being number 1.
I can never have a tier list without Mahomes being number 1. Like this is crazy to me, bro. But I guess we can put Josh though. Let's put Josh.
Where's Josh Allen?
Why not?
Okay.
I mean, he did win MVP this season, so why not?
He did. Some Ravens fans might say that's a scam MVP, but listen, last year.
So we're doing
thing.
talent, like not winning. Wait. So we're doing talent, but not like
talent,
like winning.
Talented,
talent,
like or like
I think maybe both, right?
Yeah,
a little bit of both.
Both.
Yeah, that is a little bit of both. But I still think that obviously,
I disagree, man. I put Mahomes up there, but I mean, I'm fine with Allen though. I'm fine with Allen.
I think
Mahomes, Jackson,
and what was the other?
Jaden.
Jaden top 5.
I mean, look at the
Interesting.
season he had. Like, come
mean,
on, they were the number
true.
2 pick. He beat the Lions on the road. He beat the Bucks on the road. And he
That
did
is
get stomped
true.
on by the Eagles, but like the Eagles also stomped the Chiefs. So
That is
like
true. Would you be able to put um how would I say this? What about Jalen Hurts?
oh yeah, Hurts for sure. Hurts has to be there. He won the Super Bowl, and he played amazing in
Yeah.
the Super Bowl.
Then I think that in this case,
I
for
don't know
this
about that. Hurts has the best defense, Saquon, and an elite O line. Like, are we sure he's top 5?
that's also true.
I don't know.
I think
My
I
my
think he's
argument for
probably like
Hurts is like
5.
my argument for Hurts is like, and it's like the counter argument for like Jackson is like Jackson has the talent. Like this year he had like all the stats, but like when it mattered the most, Hurts in the NFC Championship game and in the Super Bowl, like he outperformed Mahomes and Daniels. Like I don't know. I personally have Hurts in the top 5, but I wouldn't be mad if we put him top 10 though. It's not that disrespectful.
I think that you know, I think you could put him at like borderline 5 or like borderline 5, maybe 6 because he did perform in the playoffs a lot. Like that Rams game that was close, he
Yeah.
helped demolish the Commanders. I forgot what
Mhm.
other team they demolished the Packers too. I thank him for that. But
Dude, Monster Chiefs.
yeah, and he demolished the Chiefs, the supposed winners of the Super Bowl to get the three-peat. Who wanted the three-peat?
But
Panther chicken.
no. Here's my thing, right? Like 3 total touchdowns, like 230 plus yards passing, like,
Mhm.
and he had a lot of good scrambles that game too, to get first downs. Like that's why I used to say Hurts is like he gets carried by his team, but like after that Super Bowl,
Right.
like I had to put him there. But top 10 is
Oh,
fine for me.
we forgot
That's
about
fair.
someone. Joe Burrow.
No, I was just about to say that.
Yeah. So where would you put him?
Yeah, Burrow for sure, top 5. Come on, right?
Swaggy, where would you put
Okay.
him? Like,
I'd put him behind Lamar.
Lamar.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing it like
That-
actually order.
So in order. Do you think
Okay.
like statistically, do you think because there was a conversation having had, Burrow versus Lamar in terms of what their season was like. One was very successful, the other one had an insane season, but his defense let him down. Do you think in this case, because I can make an argument that, while Burrow didn't have the wins, and if we're going from the perspective of, a great season from like a statistic point of view, I think Burrow had a better season than Lamar. But in terms of the wins, it wasn't just there. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Disagree. I think Lamar had one of the best top 5 season ever.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, but the
And don't get me
passing-
wrong, dude. Burrow was phenomenal. Like Joe Burrow is
Yeah.
that guy, but Lamar, same passer rating as Tom Brady in his best season.
Ooh,
With the
that's-
rushing, he rushed for 800 yards.
Yeah.
Didn't turn it over. I mean, I think Burrow's right where he belongs, just right behind Lamar. It's
Mhm.
close though. It's like
Mhm.
this close, bro.
This
This
close?
Yeah.
Oh, I could say
I
that.
got-
I could take that.
I actually agree with Swaggy here. I think Jackson easily had a better season. I mean, in my opinion, again, I'm a QB wins kind of guy. So like, I think winning is the best like ability, and I think that this year, like Jackson in the regular season, like had I understand he had a way better defense. Like it's not even close, but like Jackson also led a lot of plays to win. Like he only had 4 interceptions this season. Like that's actually like crazy, and he had like 40 touchdowns. And
Mhm.
like you said, his passer rating was near perfect. Like Jackson had such a great season, man. Like the only reason why we're putting Mahomes over Jackson is because like the winning. But if we talk about the season, like Jackson definitely had a better season, but Mahomes did win, so like he did go to the Super Bowl. But yeah, I think Burrow this season, like the Bengals, they need to improve that defense for sure because for Burrow to win last year, he had to drop 40 each game. That's just like unrealistic. Like against really good teams, he had to drop 40 to even have a chance. So they definitely need to address that.
I think you're right in a sense. I think as well. I think Jaden Daniels is in the conversation for either top 5 or top 10. So I just don't know where to put him because Hurts is right here too. And Hurts went to a Super Bowl. So do you think Hurts would be here?
No, I got. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I can't put Daniels over Hurts because Hurts beat Daniels by a lot, actually. So, yeah, I think he's top 10. Actually, you're right. I think he's top 10.
What are your
Daniels.
thoughts?
I have a quarterback that I believe is better than Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts. That's
Oh.
not on this list. And feel free to disagree. I'm biased, very, very biased, but I think Justin Herbert's better than both of them. And I get that he was awful, god awful against the Texans in the playoffs, but just given with what's around him, I don't think there was that much. Like Lad McConkey's great, but that was it. It was literally Lad McConkey. Like J.K. Dobbins is okay. I think from a talent perspective, like again, very similar to my Lamar argument. Like Herbert hasn't won anything. He hasn't even won a playoff game. Jaden Daniels just won a couple in his first season. But I think Herbert, you could argue he has the best arm in the game. And he just watching him every week covering the Chargers, he's just so good. Like he's not a generational talent, but I haven't seen a quarterback make throws like Herbert, man. I think he has the talent. He just needs more around him. So I'd put him. I'm not saying you should do that because it's probably wrong, but I think Justin Herbert, just like I said, is as talented as both of them.
I understand where you're coming from.
I can't say that. For me personally, I can't say that, man, because you go first, man. My bad.
No, it's fine. It's like I get it. Like I understand that, but the playoff performances, like yes, I'm not expecting them to win. Like that playoffs are one-off games, right? But in both those performances, it wasn't necessarily great from Herbert's camp, especially this past season against the Texans. That's my only argument in that sense, because when the lights are the brightest, I think is what matters the most when it comes to being a top quarterback in the NFL. And I think Herbert hasn't shown that, especially in the biggest moments in the playoffs. And you may say that's like a QB win type argument, but I think from a perspective, you can have really good losses, really. You can have really good performances in a loss. And I think Herbert in those big games hasn't had that yet, especially even in the regular season sometimes against the Chiefs. Like, not necessarily anything too great to write home about either. So that's just me. I think for the perspective, I think he's still top 10, but I think like to be on the side of caution, I think he's not in the top 5 in my book.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if okay, here's my thing. Like again, I keep going with like winning. Like both the times that Herbert's gone, like both the times he went to the playoffs, he was the favorites to win both of them. Like the Jacksonville Jaguars game, he was favorites to win that. And then the Texans, the banged up team, they didn't have like both their like 2 of the 3 best receivers for CJ Stroud. And I mean, the Chargers had one of the best defenses in the league. I get it. Like you didn't have like the crazy like receivers, but he did have a really good run game. And that's one of the quarterback's best friend is to have a good run game. And I felt like, I don't know. My opinion, Herbert's like, I can't put him in that top 10 anymore. The reason why I can't put him in top 10 is because every year we say, oh, he has insane talent. He has insane talent. But if you don't, if that talent doesn't come to winning, like I can't say he's like as good as like some players. Like I can't say he's better than like CJ Stroud, Jordan Love. Who else is on the list? Like I can't even say he's better than like. Actually, he's better than Purdy. Never mind. But like, I can't say he's better than like most of the players I would say in the top 10. So I don't know. Yeah. I think he's just like just out of the top 10. But I mean, I don't hate the take though, because he is a really talented player. And like, I mean, I think like if the Chargers do get a decent receiver, like or like they get like a T Higgins, I definitely think like he could be better. But also I can't even say he's better than Baker Mayfield either. Like Mayfield. Like has won 2 playoff games too, so I put Baker in the top 10, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Like, I think we should probably start getting a little bit more quicker now. We're running slower out of time, and we have a lot to cover. So I think let's just like I don't want. These are really good discussions. I just don't want to like be too long. You know what I mean? So, I think Baker at 6 is fine, but I think I would put him over Herbert just for the season that he's had so far. Like with multiple coordinators too. Is there a quarterback you think, Swaggy, that you want to put?
Yeah. I'm looking right now. Yeah, I think CJ Stroud does come to my mind.
Let me see if I can put a different layout. Oh, that's even worse. Okay.
No, this is worse, man. Yeah, this is good. This is good.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out. Oh, actually, this is way.
Well, this is good.
Okay.
Yeah,
this is good.
Yeah, that's
much
good.
Better. Okay.
Stroud.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I think you should just put. I was thinking about it. Yeah, I would put Mahomes 1 just because Josh Allen hasn't even beaten Mahomes in the playoffs. So
That's also true.
yeah, I don't know.
That's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
I just don't like Mahomes, if I'm being honest. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
kind of why I was
true.
Yeah.
arguing against it.
I
No,
think that's
I'm the
fair.
complete I'm the complete opposite, man. I like
Yeah.
Mahomes a lot actually. But yeah, I mean, I see the hate though for him. Like, it makes sense, I guess. Like, he wins a
Just
lot.
because he wins, it's just because he wins. Like I'm not gonna lie, like that's why I don't like him.
Yeah, I know,
That's
I know.
fair.
No, I see it. That makes sense. Okay, no, can we like
Yeah.
wait? I'm already up.
What
Like,
about
just to make it
Jared Goff?
faster.
Uh-huh.
Wait, just to make it faster, can we just put like all the like the backups in backup? Like, there's so many
Okay,
backups here.
let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do that.
Like Mariota,
Winston,
Yeah.
Howell, Pickett,
Mariota.
Mariota.
Yeah,
I should have done
Minshew.
this earlier. My bad, guys.
Wait,
Nah,
that's
it's
retired
good.
though, right?
Oh, whoops.
I was gonna say.
I was like, okay. Backup DeVito. Is it Joe Flacco technically?
Yeah,
No, Flacco's a backup. He's a backup.
he's definitely a backup.
Okay, Jones.
Jones, the goat, the Levis. I think he's a backup.
I think
No,
this is
no,
pretty
not
easy.
yet though.
I think it's pretty
Retired.
easy. Yeah, I don't think there's any
Writing him
reason.
off.
I'd probably put him in bad personally, Watson.
Yeah, he's also pretty bad too. He's not
Yeah.
even good to be in retire. What's it? Do you think? Okay, technically, Penix hasn't really played that much. Should we put him as a backup?
That's a tough one. That's a tough
Mid
one.
maybe like mid or decent. Like I think Penix was pretty decent.
All right, well, we'll wait on him actually.
But that
We'll
was
just-
like,
Yeah, that's right on him.
yeah.
Garoppolo.
Yeah, Minshew. And yeah,
Minshew.
O'Connell. Like, all the Raiders quarterbacks are backups.
Yeah.
Wilson doesn't. This one is not. This is an old one. So,
No, that's Zach Wilson.
oh, Zach Wilson. Oh, I forgot that there's
Yeah.
two different ones. Yeah.
O'Connell.
Oh, McCarthy.
Yeah.
Well, okay, McCarthy
Stevenson,
didn't
that
play,
defense. No, yeah, he's like
but
Yeah,
O'Connell
he's
turned
started,
back
so
up.
I don't think Trubisky, my goat.
okay, yeah.
Rudolph.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
I think that's it. Oh, okay, so this makes it a lot more reasonable.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, Justin Fields as well.
No, but he
Oh,
started though.
Okay,
Yeah,
but like,
No, he started. No, he started.
okay, I guess 6 games counts. Okay, fine,
Yeah.
we'll keep it.
Alright.
All right. So in this case, why don't I just start with Jared Goff? Okay, that's actually
Yeah, sort of
Jordan Love.
Jared.
Actually, Jordan, which one do you want to start?
Let's do Jared, man. Jared.
Jared, do you think top 10?
I think he has to
Yeah, I
be with
think
his numbers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have to put him top 10.
Yeah.
Well, so like top 10, we're not doing like actually 10, right? Like, can they like be in the conversation of top 10?
I don't know. What do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to do that?
Because like I can't like if they're not top 10, they can't be in the decent tier. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're still really good players.
That's true. But at the same time, I think for the sole purpose of this, I think it's top 10. And it's like borderline top
Okay.
10. And we can
Okay,
say
fine.
like
Okay.
like we could say good. How about that?
Okay. There we go. Yeah, that's better. That's
I
better.
think that's better. Okay.
Okay.
Drake May. Oh wait, no, Jordan Love. I still think
Jordan
top
Love.
10.
I don't think
I say
he's a top
good.
10 quarterback.
Good,
Yeah, I'd say
good. I say good.
That's
Good.
fair. Very fair. Drake May.
I say
Nice
mid.
season.
I'll say mid. I'll say mid.
Yeah,
I'll say
I
mid.
agree.
Mid? Sounds good to
Like
me.
he could definitely become really good though. Like I think he can definitely be really good. It's he didn't play
Yeah.
enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? He didn't play for the first like 6 weeks, and like his stats are not crazy.
Right. Bo Nix.
Good. I think he's good.
Yeah.
Okay. O'Connell.
Aiden O'Connell.
Oh, he's bad.
Aiden O'Connell.
He's bad.
I would say bad, to be honest. I
Yeah,
kinda
but then
like
I don't want
O'Connell.
Watson to be in the same level as.
That's where we're at, though. Like that's really
Is
where
it
we're
that
at.
bad?
Yeah.
Oh dang!
I mean, I think
like,
Watson should be retired. I think Watson should be retired.
that's what I thought too. But like, you know what? Let's just do something. Let me do something real quick. Real below.
No, just make a Deshaun Watson tier, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, that'd be that's crazy. That's crazy. Actually, that's crazy. Watson gets his own tier, bro. That's
Yeah. Boom. Easy. All right. I think that's pretty fair.
McCarthy?
McCarthy, not Mike McCarthy. I think he hasn't
I
played.
gotta put backup. Like I don't know.
I would
like,
leave him there. Just
I'll leave
on
him.
the-
Yeah, just leave
Yeah,
him.
because- Oh, Sam Darnold.
Oh, okay. Alright. I think he's mid, bro. I don't know. Like I think he's mid.
He had such a good season. I just don't know if he's good.
I think he is good. I think he should be good. Like,
That's fair.
All right,
Yeah.
fine.
like,
That's fair.
yeah,
That's
he
fair.
didn't.
That's fair.
He stunk it up the last 2 games of his career, like of his Vikings career so far. So, I mean, prior to that, people are putting him in the conversation of MVP. So, like, I mean,
Yeah,
if
that's
you're in
fair.
a conversation for MVP, like 17 weeks out of 18, like, I think that you are good.
No, that's fair. That's
Uh,
fair.
How about Brock Purdy?
I think he's a good quarterback. I don't know if mid is like an understatement.
Mid
I
is
feel like.
mid is
Like he's
too
not
much.
mid. I think he's good.
I'm personally not a Brock Purdy fan, but I think he's good. Like he's good. He's
think he's like
he's
a
been to a
li-
Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think he's like,
He's been to Super Bowl. I can't hate on that. He has been on Super Bowl, so
and he's been playing good. I mean, his team was injured as well too, so I don't
Yeah.
know. It's kind of tough. Oh, we still haven't even finished the top 10, technically.
no, you did because Mahomes is 1, and then you have top 5 is 4,
4, and then 4.
and
There's
one
one more
more?
spot.
oh, so like the QB1 doesn't count as top 5.
No, yeah, no, it doesn't count as. It's like 1, 2,
Oh, okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, 1,
Okay,
2,
okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. So one more for top 10. Okay, sounds good.
What do you?
Okay, wait,
so-
real quick. I think Dak.
Mhm.
I think Dak goes top 10.
I put it this
I mean,
season.
I'm
big Dak. Oh wait, this season. Never mind. No. This season, I got Stroud. Never mind. Stroud's top 10 for me. That's me.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Stroud. Yeah, I agree.
Is he still top 10? Is there anyone else that's Stafford?
Oh, you can argue Stafford. You could argue Stafford. I don't know.
I think
So
Stroud's
what do you
better.
think? You think Stroud's better? Yeah, I agree with you. I think
Yeah.
Stroud.
Interesting.
I think Stafford's like the cutoff.
Uh,
No.
top 10. Top 10.
Top 10.
Top 10. Whoops.
Yeah.
Stafford is
Yeah,
good.
I think-
he had a better
he's good.
than Jordan Love.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
You know what? I will say you guys kind of make a good point. It's like Stroud beat Herbert in the playoffs, so like I think over him is fair. Goff.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Goff had a better season than Stroud. I'm fine with that, honestly.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty good. Yeah, you make a good point. Yeah. I mean,
I mean, it doesn't have
what
to be
else?
insanely in order. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I mean, they're still in the
subjective.
top 10, I guess.
All right,
Lawrence.
Lawrence, I think he's mid. I think he's mid right now. Like, I think he could be really
Yeah.
good though.
Okay.
He's too inconsistent to be good to me.
I think Cousins is like, okay, it's hard to put him because like he had such a good, like decent start or like decent middle, but then the beginning was horrible and the end was horrible. He got benched too.
But we're talking about this season. Like,
Yeah.
we're not
Is it
looking at
bad?
equity.
Yeah, I don't know.
That would be bad. But above
I don't know. Clyde,
O'Connell?
what do you think?
I'm thinking I can't say O'Connell's better. That'd be outrageous.
Yeah.
It's just I think bad. I think that's right.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna put.
So
I'm gonna
wait,
put,
but yeah, I guess because he did get benched. He got benched, so like that does like matter. He did get benched by them, like by the
Mhm.
Falcons.
yeah, Caleb Williams.
I would put mid, man. Not yet. He's not good yet. Like he's mid in my opinion. Like right now.
Hmm.
I don't know. You guys can disagree with me though. I like Caleb, but like I think like just to be like a subjective, I think he's mid right now.
I mean,
I
I,
think
don't
he's
think
mid.
his. I don't know. I'm not even
'Cause
trying
I
to be
can't put him-
biased either.
No. But
I
like
think
okay,
he's, like-
like realistically, we can't put him over Lawrence.
Why not?
No,
We can't put
We've
him over
seen more
Lawrence
out of
because Lawrence.
Tilo.
Like,
Oh,
yeah, we have.
Hmm.
I think
Wait,
Lawrence should be over May. Like May is a rookie, but he played like you said, like he barely played. Like T-Law, we've seen stretches of MVP football. I know not much, but like we've seen enough to believe in him.
Yeah.
Same with
Yeah,
Drake,
no,
I
that's
think.
what I'm saying. Like, we've seen like him win a playoff game too. Like we've seen what Trevor Lawrence could be. You know what I'm saying? It's like he
That's
obviously
true.
hasn't reached his potential. Like I think Williams can be better than him, obviously. But we were talking about this season. I still gotta give the edge to T-Law.
But I feel like in terms of, he did have some rough stretches in the year, but
Okay, but in terms of
Okay,
talent,
I
Trevor
can.
Lawrence is like arguably one of the most talented players in the league.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, I'll
Yeah.
live with that. I'll live with that. Kyler Murray.
My opinion, he's mid. In my opinion, he's mid. He has such a good start, and then he just I don't know, he's so mid, in my opinion. I can't even blame the receivers anymore. Like they gave him Marvin. Like they have Trey McBride, they have James Conner. Like I feel like the Cardinals underperformed, in my opinion, because they were 6-4. Like they were in the playoffs, and then they just fumbled.
Mm-hmm.
Kyler's a tricky one. I don't know, man. I feel like I would personally take Kyler over everyone in mid right now. Not long term, but just right now.
Okay.
That's just me, though.
I think
Fair.
Kyler had a relatively decent season.
Like if you look at his numbers, like he actually had a good season. Like
Yeah.
look at his, like he really did.
Yeah, I think, but I mean, that means should I?
Like I honestly, I think Kyler should be in good. Like I think he had a good season. To be
Yeah.
honest,
Okay.
I really do.
So wait,
Yeah,
do
I think that's
you put him
fine.
over Purdy, or do you like?
I think Kyler's better, but I think Purdy's more of a winner, personally.
Yeah, I
Cardinals.
agree.
It's like
Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
What would the Cardinals?
No, I was just
record?
pissed. I was pissed at Kyler because like I had Marvin in fantasy, and like he just not throwing the ball. He wouldn't throw the
I
ball.
did too, sadly.
I mean, Kyler did win 8 games.
No, but
Trevor
here's my
Lawrence
thing.
was hurt this year, right?
Okay, yeah, but like my thing is like, okay, I understand like
But I'm
On
talking about
paper,
from
Williams-
this season specifically.
I guess,
Like
but like
statistically. I'm not trying to say it for I don't think Caleb is like yes, the record wise it's not great whatsoever. He had rough stretches, but to be like statistically one of the best rookies in franchise history and throw for 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions.
okay, but
His
but then
rookie
if we're talking
season-
about statistics, if we're talking about statistics, then I agree with Swaggy. Then Lamar should be number one. Then earlier, if we're going by statistics only, Lamar should be number one, or Josh, because Mahomes statistically didn't have the best season, but we're going with equity because he won, and I get it. Like Lawrence got injured, I understand that. But
I
we're talking
see.
about like eye test and like who's a better quarterback right now. I'm definitely taking Lawrence. Like right
But-
now, it can definitely
But
change though.
no, I don't think I would take Lawrence over Caleb though. Like
Right
especially
now,
You have to though. Right now, yeah.
right now. Okay, you know what? I'll leave it up to that.
The
I
only
guess.
quarterback in that draft class right now that I would take over Trevor Lawrence is JD5. Like that's the only one I would take over him because Jaden Daniels has done more in one season than Trevor Lawrence has done in 4 seasons. It's
And Bo
I mean-
Nix, right? You
And
take
Bo
Bo
Nix.
Nix.
maybe probably. I don't know. I mean, I gotta see more out of Bo. It's because like I've seen Trevor Lawrence win a playoff game too and throw for 4K yards. You know what I'm saying? Like Bo Nix hasn't done both of that. But I mean, Bo definitely could be better though. He could, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
I see what you mean.
But this
All right,
season, yeah,
Tua.
Bo Nix was better. He's good, in my opinion. What do you think, Swaggy?
I think 2 is good.
Okay.
In warm weather, that's it.
In warm weather, yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true.
Only in warm weather.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
for
Like,
real.
I don't understand how that like I get it. You're based in Miami, but like even warm weather teams like win. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I mean, yeah,
You mean like the
right.
Niners?
yeah.
He's mid.
Russell,
Oh my god, this
Yeah.
guy's mid.
I'd
This
say
guy is
mid
so
for
mid.
Russ.
would
He's better than
what
me.
would you-
I think I'd
Okay,
honestly
me personally,
put him. Yeah,
Caleb over.
second.
Caleb
I'd
over.
say second. I say
Oh,
to
really?
the right of
Yep.
Lawrence.
Really, you have it over Caleb?
Like here's my Caleb. I think he's gonna be a star, but I mean, last season he had good statistical numbers, but like I think Russ Russ is a veteran. Like Russ is like what 37. Like he's just seen a lot more
No,
football.
I know what you mean.
So yeah,
Like you have like more. He has more equity. If you okay,
Yeah,
I get
so-
that makes sense.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay. I think we should make another one. Hold on, give me 1 second. I think to be like fair for some of the. Oh, whoops. Did I mess it up? Okay, I messed it up. Okay, for
Now you good.
Sorry,
you good.
guys.
You good. You good.
ad row below. Okay, I think that this one should be injured because I think
And
that's
then
pretty
Trevor
much
Lawrence
fair.
has to be on that one.
Yeah.
Then Lawrence
Yeah.
has to be in that one.
Okay.
I guess you put
Yeah.
Lawrence there.
Because I think
Rose determined
Yeah.
to Rose
'Cause it's
determined to
hard-
get Lawrence over him.
no. I'm not determined to get Caleb there. I'm just trying to say because it's like we have McCarthy, we have Derek Carr, we have Dak Prescott, you know, and Penix hasn't really played either. So
Yeah,
that's also a thing. That's why I'm kind of like, okay, then where would you put them, right?
that's true.
Like
That's
I'm
true.
still being mid right now. That's fine, but it's like,
No,
I'm
I know. I
saying-
was kidding. I was kidding.
but yeah. Would you put Kirk? Oh, no, Kirk. He was
Just
benched.
bad.
No, he got benched. He got benched.
Yeah,
he got benched.
benched.
All right.
Yeah.
What's the remaining ones? Yeah, so
Derek
Dak,
Carr.
you got to put him injured.
Injured as well.
Yeah, so is Dak.
Wait, did Derek Carr get hurt all season, rest of the
Yeah.
season, or?
Yeah, he got injured.
He got
Okay.
injured like starting like week 11, I think. I
Week
forgot.
11. Then would you put him back? High key. It's like he played
Dude.
enough.
First 2 weeks, he was in the MVP conversation.
I don't
I'll
think
say
Carr
that.
is bad. I think he's mid if we're gonna go off of that.
Nah. Yeah, I guess so. But it's like I don't know. It's just Derek Carr seems very uninspiring to me. I don't know. It just
He's mid.
just
No, no,
Derek
he's
Carr.
mid. He's mid.
Yeah,
He's mid.
He's not bad, man. It's just Derek Carr.
all right. What about Anthony Richardson? And we've had conversation. Bad. Okay.
Bad.
Yeah, and like
But he'd
at
be
the top
good.
of that,
He'd be good.
if there was a tier in between mid and bad, I'd put him there, but there's not. So
Okay. Geno
AR
Smith.
did do a lot of good. So
Oh, AR did. Yeah. All right. Geno Smith.
I say Geno's mid.
I just remember
Actually-
the interceptions that like Anthony Richardson had. Like I remember he like threw it right to Jalen Johnson like as a receiver. Like I remember that game. Like he like threw,
Yeah, tried to
an
like throw it up.
he like threw it right to him, bro. Like no Colts receiver was nearby. Like yeah. Anyway, Smith. I think he's good. I don't know. Smith's pretty good.
He had a really good season statistically, right? And he won that big game against the Niners too. It was like a
I don't
big
know.
game.
Did he have a good season?
I don't
not
think
sure.
he's on the level of those other guys personally. That's just me.
I think he's
but-
number one in mid. I think he's number one in mid. Like he's right above Wilson.
Yeah, I agree.
4,320 yards, 21 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Okay. That
He
15
did throw a lot of
interceptions-
picks.
Yeah, he did throw a lot of picks. Where would you put him?
Yeah,
Right
that's
there,
fair.
right there.
That's fair. Okay.
Rogers
Levis.
goes to retire. Like, I think Rogers
No,
goes to retire.
I don't think so. I think Rodgers will be back somewhere, maybe Pittsburgh, but
What did he have a bad or mid season?
Oh no,
I
he was
put him
good.
I think he was better than Geno personally. I really do. I think Rodgers was good down the stretch, man.
Yeah.
I think Rogers is
statistically,
good. I think he's low tier good. Like look at the season. Like he still had a good season with the Jets. It's just the Jets were just dysfunctional.
Yeah,
my
he had-
opinion.
Yeah, he threw for 3,897 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He still had a near 30 touchdown season. Yeah,
That's
I
what I'm
can see that.
saying. The reason why I put him over Geno just because like I know Geno had more yards, but like he had lesser interceptions and like I don't know. Like I guess you could put him in the same tier, but like actually, is that really disrespectful saying Rogers is mid like when he's 39? Like it's not actually that disrespectful.
Yeah.
We can
I
keep it
agree.
mid. Let's keep it mid.
Okay.
Let's keep it mid.
Will Levis.
Oh, bad. Oh my god. Like, He literally handed us our
What?
week 1 win. He literally
Yeah, he essentially
handed the
did.
Bears the week 1 win, man. Like,
Where would you put him here?
I put him ahead of O'Connell.
O'Connell?
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dang. Michael Penix.
Penix. I got
How many games did he play? Michael Penix.
injured. I'll put him injured because he didn't play enough, in my opinion, to like evaluate him.
Okay. What about you, Swaggy?
Yeah, I actually really liked what I saw out of Penix, but I completely agree we didn't see enough out of him to evaluate.
3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 775 passing yards in 3 games, which is not
It's like
bad.
Dak also only played like 7 games or 8 games, and like if we're putting him in injured, we gotta put Penix also in injured. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's fair. I can do that. I can deal with that.
Yeah.
I
And then
think
Bryce, I think Bryce, like, he's mid. Just okay. I know he ended the season really well, but like, I have to go with the whole season. Like, I gotta go with him being mid. I think he's guys. You guys put him over Caleb. No, I'm being so serious. Like, I know Caleb's my quarterback, but like,
I don't know.
No, I don't think so
I don't
because
think we can. I don't think so. Yeah.
2,403 yards, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and he played one, two. Hold on, wait.
so do we just put him
2,
right next to Caleb,
5,
like right of him?
about 15 games he's played. So like, I think he's not there yet. I think behind Caleb though.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
No, but like, okay, I think like he didn't start 2 of those games. I think because I think
No,
Dalton.
I know,
started
but
4.
still, 15 game sample size and 2,400 yards.
No, it's more like 13 games because he came in like when they were getting blown out.
That's
He didn't
fair.
start those games, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fine with him being next to Williams. That's fine.
All right, last and but not least, your boy,
Yes, sir.
Justin
Yeah,
Fields.
I know.
our boy, actually.
My favorite
Yeah.
player. My favorite player. I say mid. I say mid. I think he showed like he's not bad in my opinion. Like I think he's good. Like I think he could be good, but like he's mid right now. I feel like
Behind Russ, I'd say. Me personally, I think that's fair. I think he was better than those other guys.
you think he's better than Caleb?
I mean, well, no, like I think Caleb's a better quarterback, but they went 4-2 with Fields. Like they were
But
winning
that's
football
based off
games.
record.
Yeah, that's true, but I think Justin played well, man. He didn't turn it over. We know what he does with his legs. Like absolutely, I would take Caleb any day over Justin Fields. But it's like from what I saw, I think that's fair.
I like it. But I personally like I put him right before May. Actually, I don't know though. People would get mad at me if I do that because people are gonna say May's better. But like I don't think so. Like I don't know. I really hope he goes to a better situation.
I mean, I do think Drake May's a better quarterback, but just like I think Fields did well. That's it. But it's like a winning standpoint. So
Yeah.
I guess. Well, yeah.
Wait,
I mean, I guess we put
I gotta ask you a question. I gotta ask you a question because, like, remember, like last year, like I was watching your videos because I really wanted the Bears to keep Justin Fields because he's like one of my favorite quarterbacks. And like you said, like the Bears should trade back. I mean, before, like obviously, I think you think differently now. But what do you think? What do you think? Like, is the best destination for Justin Fields, man? Like this offseason, like where do you think he should go?
the best for him would be Las Vegas.
Vegas.
Work with
Really?
Tom Brady, all that cap space.
No, Getsy's gone.
No, I said no Luke Getsy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's
no
on the
Luke
Packers
Getsy.
now.
Well, what about Seattle or New York Jets? You think those would be decent for him?
I don't know, man. There's just something about Vegas to where, again, he'd be able to work with Brady. They have the second most cap space. Chip Kelly, you say what you want about him as a head coach, but what he did at Ohio State needs to be talked about. I mean, they were putting up 34 a game on the top-ranked teams. So I think Las Vegas is perfect if I'm Justin Fields.
Fields is also from Ohio State. I don't know if he played with. No, I don't think he was there. Never mind. But OSU.
He was Oregon. I think Kelly was with Oregon at that point. But.
Probably.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough. Well, that concludes this episode of the SoBackSports podcast. Once again, Swaggy, thank you and appreciate you for joining us today and, talking sports and doing a tier list with us. So appreciate it. If you want to say a few things about your channel and kind of do some plugs, you can feel free to do so.
Thanks for having me. I don't even have social media right now. So you can only find me over at YouTube on Swaggy, but I will be making Bears videos this offseason. I'm excited about the draft. I know you guys have – what pick do you guys have actually?
10? Yeah,
10? Oh, okay. Top 10 pick. Yeah, so we'll definitely be talking about that on the channel. So
heck yeah, man. Appreciate you
Wait,
guys
Swaggy,
for tuning.
Real quick, I see you making some – I know this is not about the NBA, but I see you making some NBA videos. Are you like I saw your profile pic. Is your favorite player Curry?
No, it's actually not. I just was covering the Warriors for a little bit, and I decided to switch it up. I'm actually a Knicks fan. I live in Houston, though, so I consider myself a Knicks and a Rockets fan because I'm in H-Town. So,
nice. Respect. You got my boy Jalen Brunson, or because He went to our high
Yeah, we went
school
to high
actually.
school. Yeah, he went to our
Oh
high
yeah,
school.
that's right. He did actually. He was
Yeah.
awesome in high school.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was
What
really
was
good.
what was crazy is that dude was a senior when I was a freshman in high school, and dude, I was so mad because I wish like I had the opportunity to go to the state championship game to see him play, but it's so sad because I wish I did because I never got to really see him play, which in high school.
NBA players would show up to his high school games. That's how like big he was.
Yeah, especially a kid from like our neighborhood and stuff. It's like, wow, that's crazy. But
Crazy, man.
yeah, all right. I think we've kind of done it, the podcast right now.
And
So
I
appreciate you guys.
I had to ask.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's completely fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. But like, appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, guys, we'll see you guys in the next one.